The playoffs are about to begin. Let's talk about them. Alright guys, so like I did last year, I'm going to go through each playoff game and determine who's going to win, and I'll also predict who's going to win the Super Bowl. Now last year I didn't do too good at this, so let's hope this year is better. Let's start off with the wildcard rounds in the AFC. Alright, so the first game is Indianapolis at Houston. The key for me is the quarterback play. Andrew Luck, first year coming off of that injury, and he's played tremendous all year long. The last time the Colts went to the playoffs, they got to the AFC Championship game. So he's got playoff experience. He knows what that's like. Sean Watson, second year in the league, first time he's been in the playoffs. But this is the key. The two games against Alabama were the best games of his career. So he knows what it's like to be on the big stage. But he just doesn't know what that's like in the NFL. Now, these teams, they seem so evenly matched. They seem like they're in a tie. So I'm just going to give it to the Texans because I'm always going to go with the home team whenever there's a tie. Okay, the Chargers will be at the Ravens, and they played this game already in Week 16. So they are going to play each other twice in 3 weeks. Now, the Chargers, they are one of the best teams in the AFC, and they're the 5th seed. How? Well, they shared a division with the Chiefs, so that kind of explains it. The Ravens, they started 4-5, looking like they were going to miss the playoffs. Then they make the quarterback switch, and that's been the difference this year. They changed up their offense for Lamar, and it just made them more exciting and more unpredictable. It really did. However, the Chargers take this one because they've seen the offense, and you see what the Browns did late in the game to stop Lamar Jackson in that offense. You can bet that the Chargers are going to look at that and say, we might be able to use that and stop this offense right here. So, I'm going to go with the Chargers over the Ravens. Now let's move on to the NFC. Philadelphia at Chicago. Yikes. Could we be looking at another magical run for Philadelphia? Nick Foles is the starter again, got into the playoffs, and you never know what can happen when you have momentum. Now Chicago, everyone thought when Aaron Rodgers was healthy that the Packers were going to win the division. Didn't happen that way. Chicago, with that trade for Khalil Mack, got their defense ready, and Mitch Trubisky made some plays as a second-year quarterback. I'm actually going to go Chicago over Philadelphia. The reason, Chicago will come ready to play, and this defense is going to do everything they can to slow down Nick Foles and this offense. And the Bears' offense, I think, will do just enough against the Philadelphia defense, and they'll end up taking the wildcard round. Alright, and Seattle's facing off against Dallas. Dallas, they started off slow like the Ravens, but then they make the trade for Amari Cooper. That's been the difference for their offense. Amari Cooper has made plays for them. And I still remember that game where the ball got tipped, and he somehow caught it and got into the end zone for the touchdown in overtime. That was terrific. And Seattle, they were another team. They were off to a slow start, and the Legion of Boom was pretty much gone. Richard Sherman was gone. Earl Thomas got knocked out during the season. Cam Chancellor retired. And you thought, could the Seahawks recover from this? Well, it turned out they could. Their team came together, got them into the playoffs, so they get a wildcard matchup with the Cowboys, and I say they beat them. I think Russell Wilson does just enough as the Seahawks quarterback to win this game. Alright, so that's how the wildcard's going to play out. Now let's move on to the divisional championship and the Super Bowl. Now I'm not going to go into great detail like I did here. I'm just going to say who I think will win and just a few reasons why. So with the Chargers beating the Ravens, the Colts losing to the Texans, Texans go up against the Patriots, Chargers go up for a third matchup against KC. Now for me, I say the Patriots beat the Texans because the Patriots, when they are at home for the playoffs, they are basically unbeatable. Only a few teams have beat them at home in the playoffs. I just don't think the Texans have enough to get it done. Even though they have played them already, I just don't think they can do it. Now the Chargers play the Chiefs. Now for me, I would say the Chargers beat the Chiefs. And this is why. When they played against them their second time, the Chargers were able to slow down Patrick Mahomes just a little bit so that their offense can do just enough to win. And that's what I think is going to happen. Defense is going to slow them down just enough, and the offense is going to be able to take advantage of really what's not a great defense and score enough points to win the game. So, the Chargers are going to be at the Patriots for the conference championship game. But more on that later. For the NFC, the Bears will be at the Rams, and the Seahawks are going to be at the Saints. Let's start with the Bears at the Rams. Now, the Bears beat the Rams earlier, but they were in Chicago, not LA, and that's going to be the difference. I say LA beats the Bears to move on to the conference championship. Now, who are they going to play? Well, I got the Saints beating the Seahawks because the Saints are going to be at home. They're going to have an extra week of rest. And Drew Brees, he wants another title. He wants to give the city of New Orleans another title, and those teammates are going to get behind his back, and they're going to do it for them. So they move on to the conference championship, where they'll play the Rams for the second time. Alright, so now we're on the conference championship. Like I said before, New England is one of the toughest places to play when the postseason comes around. And while the Chargers have a good offense and defense, I just don't think they have enough to go up against Tom Brady. When Tom Brady gets to the playoffs, he's a completely different person. Yeah, the Patriots have struggled, but you know what? They're still in the playoffs. They're still playing at home. They are going to beat the Chargers and move on to the Super Bowl. Their third straight Super Bowl appearance. In the NFC, the Rams against the Saints. The Saints have already beaten the Rams once, and I say they do it again. The reason? Well, they have the offense to match up against the Rams, and their defense can do what the Chargers defense did to the Chiefs. Can slow them down just a little bit. That way, Breeze can find a way to get the offense enough points. So our Super Bowl matchup will be New England at the Saints, and I say the Saints take it. The Saints win the Super Bowl. Drew Brees gets his second title. So those are my playoff predictions. Let's see if I'm right. Probably won't, but it's still fun. See you next time.